From the moment Emily stepped into the martial arts studio, she felt every eye on her. She was small, quiet, and looked nothing like the confident athlete stretching across the mats. Her sneakers were worn, her hoodie one size too big, and her hands trembled as she clutched the waiver form. She wasn't here to prove anything to anyone, she was here because her late father had always told her that courage was not the absence of fear, but the decision to step forward despite it. But courage, as she was learning, rarely felt heroic in the beginning. Across the room stood Brandon, a senior student and the studio's youngest black belt. His reputation was legendary, strong, fast, and famously proud. When he spotted Emily, he smirked, nudging the other experienced students. "Look at this," he said just loud enough for her to hear. "Another beginner hoping one class will make her a ninja." A few students laughed. Emily's cheeks burned, but she kept her eyes down and walked toward the beginner line. She reminded herself why she came, to find strength again, to feel something other than the heaviness that had followed her since her father's passing. When class began, the instructor, Master Lewis, paired students for warm-ups. As fate would have it, Emily was placed with Brandon. He rolled his eyes. "Try to keep up," he said, stretching his arms lazily. Emily nodded, though her heart pounded so hard she could hear it. They began with basic stance drills. Brandon moved effortlessly, each step sharp, precise. Emily tried to imitate the form she had watched online, but her movements were stiff, shaky. "You're doing it wrong," Brandon said. "Like, completely wrong." More students glanced over now, sensing the tension. Master Lewis noticed too. "Brandon," he called out, "why don't you help her? A true black belt uplifts, not humiliates." The room fell quiet. Brandon's jaw tightened. He didn't like being corrected. "Fine," he muttered, turning back to Emily. "Let's do something simple. When I step forward, you block. If you can." He stepped forward fast, too fast for a beginner. Emily flinched, stumbling backward. A few students chuckled again. "Come on," Brandon said. "If this scares you, why even bother showing up?" Emily swallowed hard. She could have walked out. She wanted to. But then a memory surfaced, her father kneeling beside her at age 7, tying her shoes. "When the world gets loud," he had said, "listen to your heart. It whispers what your strength truly is." Emily closed her eyes for a moment, breathed deeply, and when she opened them, something inside her had settled. She wasn't here to impress anyone. She was here to find herself again. "Let's try again," she said softly. Brandon didn't expect that. He raised his eyebrows, then lunged forward once more. And that's when it happened. Before she even realized what she was doing, Emily shifted sideways, smoothly, instinctively. And Brandon's strike cut through empty air. Using momentum alone, she placed her palm on his shoulder and guided him past her. He stumbled. Nearly fell. The room froze. Brandon's eyes widened in disbelief. "How did you do that?" Emily blinked, confused herself. I just moved the way my dad taught me. Only once, years ago. He called it stepping with your whole heart." Master Lewis approached, more impressed than surprised. "It's a redirection technique," he explained. "Rare for beginners to execute correctly." He turned to Emily. "That was natural instinct. Beautiful, really." For the first time since entering the studio, Emily felt warm instead of embarrassed. But the real surprise came next. Brandon stepped forward, not with arrogance, but with something almost like humility. "Hey, look, I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I shouldn't have mocked you. That move, no joke, was better than half the people here have ever pulled off. Including me." His apology was unexpected. Genuine. And it softened something in Emily's chest. "It's okay," she replied. "I'm just trying to learn." Well, if you're willing, Brandon said, rubbing the back of his neck, maybe I could practice with you. Properly this time. The class watched as Brandon, the proud black belt, bowed respectfully to Emily, the newcomer he had mocked minutes earlier. She bowed back, and together they practiced slowly, deliberately. Brandon coached her through stances without a hint of sarcasm. Emily listened, her confidence growing with each passing moment. By the end of class, something had shifted, not just in Emily, but in the whole room. Students who had chuckled earlier came to compliment her. A few asked how she learned that movement. One even offered to practice with her next week. As she left the studio, Emily felt lighter than she had in months. She looked up at the sky, whispering, "I stepped forward, Dad." And in that moment, she realized something powerful. Sometimes the strength we search for doesn't come from muscles or speed, it comes from kindness. From showing up. From surprising even ourselves with what we're capable of. But the greatest strength of all. The strength to turn hurt into humility, and judgment into connection. Brandon learned it that day. Emily reminded him. And everyone in the room walked away a little more compassionate, a little more aware of the quiet battles others carry. Because sometimes it takes just one brave step, one unexpected moment of grace, to leave a room silent, and a heart forever changed.